this day, whatever, time, whatever, year, whatever. I'm working on my own self, trying to clean out, detox, relax, occupy my mind. How I go. But I'm cautiously staying on my P's and Q's, trying to stay out the way of my own life. Because it seems like you can just as easily put yourself in a situation where you can't trust your own self. So, on my own situation, I'm just relaxing, if that makes sense. But trying to work on trying to rebuild, regroup, and recognize what I got and what I plan to do. Just documenting the series of events so I can not look back on it, but just pretty much be able to put a time with a date. The computer gonna help me do that. So just understanding where I'm at and what I'm doing, and hopefully what goals I'm pursuing to ultimately get to the end result. Before time run out in my own life. It might be far fetched, but I understand that I'm ultimately not by myself in my own personal world. But you gotta be careful what you ask for, because in life you might just get it. And my biggest thing is accepting rejection from the position of knowing that you got somebody, but the whole time they really not for you, they really not with you, they really don't have your best interest in mind. So you just have to approach each situation with the knowledge of you don't really know, and you're really trying to figure it out as you go. But the time that you spend as what you would call trying, most of the time that goes unappreciated, uh, unabated to most of your situations. You know, it's a position in life where other people can really dictate your next move without you being involved in it. And that's ultimately what happens is you can plan your next move your own self, but most of the time somebody else already have another plan in place for the move that you already have, which blocks your move and put you in a situation where you know you behind the 8 ball, as we should say, or you seeing the curtain call, or just for a lack of better words, you just fail. So that's pretty much what's at hand. You know, the the resolution of failure, and I don't know if the 400-500 people on my friends list list read this, can see this, even share it or look at it for what it is, or even if I'm just putting it out there to talk about my own self as knowledge gained so that somebody else don't make the same mistakes. So now it just begins to a point where you're volunteering information. Because, at my own life, I've seen a lot of situations, and a lot of them have been detrimental to my health or to somebody else's health in a position where you're really trying. But, as I try whatever it's called or succeed, if that's knowledgeable, you just understand that, if you can build a solid foundation for yourself, um, somebody out there would want to be a part of what you are associated with. Uh, I could talk about 10 years ago. I could talk about 20 years ago. I could talk about 30 years ago. But with talking about it, I'm only talking about my own life uh, and how it's affected a lot of people in the world by your choices, by the indoctrination, by the ultimate programming, and just plain no belief in my own life. I'm ultimately, a nobody to a vision that you believe. And since I wrote it, I'm the only one that can diffuse my own situation. And with me doing that, uh, you can, what they call, danger millions of people for your own gain, if that's possible to say. But it's trial and error, and I don't owe anybody. I owe my own self the respect, the ability. It's just a situation that you can't blame anybody but yourself. Hmm. Once you take full responsibility for your own actions, you don't point the finger at nobody else. You don't try to put the burden on anybody else, and you don't want to include anybody else in your own failures. So that's pretty much how it works. In life, I can only speak for myself. I can't take nobody else down on ownership or take anybody else down the road that I've already traveled to recreate possibilities that they'd never reach. And I can't create happiness for somebody that don't want it if I don't approach the situation to create my own. And ultimately, nobody cares. We all born to die. We all look to find the silver lining in every situation to say that I'm getting approval. And, it just creates a distance of a relationship with or without your family, with or without your friends. or with or without a loved one to share most of these situations with. And if anybody wants credit, or if anybody wants approval, or wants to be a part, they pretty much entering their own risk for rewards. So, that's just what my thought is for the day. It might make sense, it might not. You owe so many people not an explanation, but if you think you got somebody that's looking up to you, or if you looking up to somebody else, or you may ultimately just want to know what's the hidden agenda for most people's lives. Uh, Sometimes the answers are in front of your face. Sometimes the answers are behind your back. Sometimes the answers are not even there. So, I just take it one day at a time, and hopefully one day I can enjoy what people call the fruits of their own labor. Because we ultimately going to run out of time to say that you're successful without the help of others. And the majority of the time, you your own worst enemy, you your own worst critic, you your own predecessor to your success or to your failure. You would hope that you can get the answers, and you hope that you have the answers, and you ultimately hope that you can find out the reason why things happen, how things happen, and should things, if happen at all. So, if you're successful, you'll be the only one to know. And if you're a failure, you definitely would be the only one that would know, because life gonna go on with or without you. Time's not gonna stop for anyone. And, ultimately in the end, you won't know if you accept it or reject it anyway. You just have to put your best foot forward, use the knowledge that you gain, understand from the mistakes that you've learned from, and the memory that you're still capable of having. You just hope that you make the right decision, and the people who you care about, the people who you love, and the people who you ultimately want to make a final decision for can live with the decisions that you make, the decisions that they make, and in most situations, the decision that ultimately be made for you. You try to live every day and be happy. You try to live every day and be successful. And you just have to live every day as if it's your last day, with the hope of knowing that you've done everything that you can do, everything in your power, everything in your heart, everything in your mind, everything in your soul. And it's not a motivation for anybody. It's just me telling my story and having an outlet to tell the story. Because just like Facebook and any other media social outlet, that information not going to be there forever. Eventually, it'll be overshadowed by something greater than what you could ever proclaim to possess or earn or eventually share with anybody else. You know, my question is this: how can so many people be successful by hating when the ultimate hater is your own self?